All right, in lesson 2.1, we are graphing quadratic functions. So when we graph a quadratic function, it creates the parabola shape, which is a U-shaped graph. And the highest or lowest point of the parabola is called the vertex of the parabola. And the equation of a quadratic follows the form ax squared plus bx plus c. What do they look like? If a is positive, if the number in front of the squared term is positive, then it will be a smile. It'll open up. If the a value in front of the x squared term is negative, then it'll be a frown. It'll open down. So the way to graph these is to find the x value of the vertex by using the equation negative b over 2a. Then once we have that x value, we plug it into the function, and then that is our vertex. And then we will decide whether it is a maximum or a minimum by looking at the sign of a. So this is the first step in graphing, but here we're just determining whether it's going to be a maximum or a minimum value. So let's start by finding the x value of the vertex by doing negative b over 2a. My a, in this case, is 1, and my b is negative 4. So if I plug in negative 4 for b and plug in 1 for a, I end up getting 4 over 2, which is 2. So my x value of the vertex is 2. Now I need to find the y value. I can find the y value by going to the function given and plug 2 in. Plug in that x value we just found, and we end up getting 4 minus 8 minus 11, which is negative 15. And so my vertex is 2, negative 15. And they want to know whether that is a maximum or a minimum. And since my a value is a positive 1, this will be a smile, which means the vertex I just found is a minimum of the function. It is a minimum because the vertex will be at the bottom of the U shape of the parabola. Let's do it again right here. We're going to find our x value, negative b over 2a. My a is negative 4, my b is 8. So if I plug in 8 and if I plug in negative 4, I get negative 8 over negative 8, which is 1. So that is the x value of my vertex. And then I want to plug 1 into the function to find the y value that goes with it. So I'm plugging 1 in for the x values because I got x to be 1. Make sure you do exponents before you multiply. So 1 squared is 1. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. Then plus 8 minus 1. So here we are getting 3 for our y value. So that is my vertex. Since the a value is negative, then this would be a frown. It's opening down. The vertex I just found would be at the top, so it is a maximum value. It is a maximum. So now let's apply that to graphing the whole function. So that's the first step, is to find the vertex, then put the vertex on the graph, and then we probably haven't shown you this yet, but parabolas follow a rule of 1, 3, 5. So you go over 1, up 1, then over 1, up 3, over 1, up 5 to get the other points. And that saves you time for making a table of values. So let's start by finding the vertex of this function. So to be negative b, which is negative 2, over 2a, which is 1. And so in this case, I'm getting 2 over 2, which is an x value of 1. So let's make a note over here. My vertex starts at 1. And then if you want, that tells you that you've got axis of symmetry at 1. This is going to be the center of your U shape because that's where the vertex is. To find the y value of that vertex, you take 1 and plug it in to the function. So I've got 1 squared, 2 times 1 minus 3. And that gives me 1 minus 2 minus 3, which is going to give me a y value of negative 4. So my vertex is at 1, negative 4. and I can plot that on the graph. And then the a value is 1. So if the a value is 1, you use the pattern 1, 3, 5. So that means I go over 1 up 1. From there, go over 1 up 3 more. From there, go over 1 up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So from here, I go over 1 up 1, over 1 up 3, over 1 up 5, because it is symmetric to that axis of symmetry, which goes through your vertex. So there is your parabola. Example 4, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find the vertex. So I'm going to do negative b over 2a, which would be negative 8 over 2 times 2. That's negative 8 divided by 4, which will give me an x value of negative 2. Then we plug that x in and find the y value that goes with it. So here I'm going to get negative 2 squared, which is 4. And then 4 times 2 is 8. Then 8 times negative 2 is negative 16 plus 1. So we get negative 7 for the y value. So I've got a vertex of negative 2, negative 7. If I plot that, you can draw your axis of symmetry there. So this is my vertex. Everything is going to be centered around that. I know it's going to be opening up because the a is positive. And remember that pattern 1, 3, 5, that's only if a is 1, like in example 3. Here a is 2. So if a is any other number besides 1, you have to take your pattern times that number. So we're taking our pattern times 2 because a is 2. So that means I'm going to go over up 2, up 6, up 10 to get the other points. So I go over 1 up 2. From there, over 1 up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And from there, over 1 up 10, which would be off the graph. And then do the same thing on the other side of your dotted line. And then connect the dots. Try your best to make it U-shaped and not look like a V. Remember, a V shape is an absolute value graph, so you want to make it look rounded and like a parabola.